Good Sunday, man, everybody. It is Sunday, July 13th, 2025. And I know I've been blowing up all the Facebook groups lately and made a few YouTube videos. And I think you're supposed to spread them out a little bit and all that good stuff. But I don't have the time um, to schedule things. I'll go in spurts where I get off work for a few days or take off work for a few days. So that leaves me a few days to just do the hobby. And I end up putting up a bunch of stuff and flooding everything, and then probably won't see from me again, or at least content wise, that sort of thing. So this will be my last one for a while, probably. Um, but I just wanted to walk through this helper that I've been making that's helping me with. I've been in a football mood lately, and this helper's really been helped me. I've always struggled with football games for a few reasons. Play calling is a big one. I never feel like when I call my own plays that I'm calling plays correctly as the team would, and it's going to skew the stats and get weird results and stuff like that. So that bothers me. So I really like matchup college football, season ticket football. I had always played Strat and then APBA, and in those you're the manager, and those are very fun games. But I like the games there's also like play calling systems. Glory Days football has probably been my favorite football game, but I'm currently replaying the 1999 Tennessee Titans season, and Glory Days football doesn't have 1999, so I've been trying it out with others, and got back into a football mood lately. I had tried season ticket football when it first came out, and I don't know why, but I really struggled with it. And then really got into season ticket baseball, and I get that game was great, phenomenal game, and I was like, well, let me give season ticket football a try now that I kind of understand the way the developer is thinking, maybe. And yeah, when I went back to season ticket football after playing season ticket baseball and really getting season ticket baseball down, season ticket football flowed, and then Clay Dreslock, the creator, came out with the one roll play calling card, and that's just been great. I'll show that here in a little bit. Um, Man, that just put me back into football, and really got into season ticket for a while, and I'm still into it. I still want to get back to it. Still plan on using that in parts of this replay. I'm running out of games. This has been one of those projects where I've been like, oh man, it's ending quickly. I've had some projects where I didn't want them to end, and this is one's like, man, I'm running out of games. I want to keep playing, but I got another season lined up behind it. So there's that. I'll there'll be plenty. But then that got me into matchup college football, which I really like. It's college. I I wish they had pros, and I understand why they don't. I heard ST talk about that. Um, so I get it, but I'm a Kentucky Wildcats fan, and there's very rarely do they have any good teams. And I'm also just I don't like to play great teams against great teams. I like to play teams within each era, and so I plan on picking up like the last pack season because I can play out the last Pac-12. And I'm SEC homer, admittedly, but that'll be. I just think that would be fun. Um, and then there are other things that have the same seasons I can put against same teams from the same season against the same team from another team from the same season. So matchup football really got me. I really like that too. So as I started playing these, I I wanted to create. I found some tools for matchup college football in Excel, and then I got my. Oh, hey Clay, just talking about some of your games and how great that they are. Um, so as I got to playing that, I found some tools, and that got my creative juices flowing again. And I'm not a game developer. I'm not a programmer or a coder. I have to work with a lot of some of that stuff for my work. But that got me into um, now I was like, oh, I could create some tools that I could use. So I just wanted to show this Excel helper. Oh, I need to share my screen, I guess. I made a video like that where I was showing, I thought I was showing something, but I was just me talking. So let me share my screen. And so here is this Excel helper that I've been making. So, like I said, once I got back into football, and I found on Matchup College Football, I think their Facebook page, I found an Excel helper that somebody had created. So then that got me wanting to create something that works for me, and I used that. I actually used that as a basis for this. So I'm going to put this. It's already out here in an older version. It's out there on the Code and Dice Facebook group, and almost everything on this Excel helper is hyperlinked to something. So this Code and Dice Facebook group, I'm going to put this updated version in the files section. And these are the different games that I have made a digital playmat for. Here's a link to my YouTube channel. So you'll land here, and these are the different games. So here's matchup college football. This is kind of what I found. I changed some things around maybe, uh, but most of all of these have kind of a very similar layout. If you want to go back home, there's the home icon. So here is the play calling chart that matchup college football uses, and they released this for free. So I'm not worried about it. Jen said that this was something that people can show because it was released for free. I never want to give anything away that's proprietary rights. Uh, and I don't think it's a big problem in our hobby, but it could be. And I think most of us want to support the developers as much as we can. I know I do. I know oftentimes if I buy something in paper or print, I'll go ahead and get the PDFs as well. A, because I want to support the developers. B, because I'm impatient and I want to start playing before the product gets here. But here is Matchup College Football, the digital playmat, and it's got the football that you can use. I added this first down marker, and this indicates the plays. I think I added this. If you scroll down on all of these, sometimes there's some extra little goodies down here. Here is something that was included in the instructions on potentially when to go for it on fourth down. And then there are links to the different areas of the playmat. So if you click this, it'll take you to kind of a digital playmat where you can enter in the quarterback's information and the receiver's information, and it'll tally all the stats for you. And there's instructions over here. And one thing that I've realized pretty quickly with this is that I have a 34-inch monitor. So this looks really good on my screen. I bet it doesn't look great on a standard size monitor. It's probably really crowded. So that is that thing. You can take this, make it your own, edit it, not use it, whatever. But I did put some instructions here on this digital playmat. You can only type in cells that don't have formulas in it. But if you want to change the formulas, here are the instructions on how to do that. So to get back to your game from here, you can click on the icon there. So this is Matchup College Football. Haven't done a ton with Matchup College Football, like I was saying. College, my team is Kentucky, and they're not great, so I don't do a ton. But I'm looking forward to doing some with that. Back to home, and now over to the game that really kind of brought me back into football is season ticket football. So this is the one I've probably done the most with. It's probably the busiest. I want to remove, there's just a lot going on. Just trying to put everything here. And like I said, on my 34-inch monitor, it works. I really, really enjoy this automatic play calling card, one roll system. Really enjoy it. It's great for solo play. I've just really, really enjoyed it. And I put these sliders on here because I often forget which play I rolled up. So this helps me remember that. And I'm going to have to put glasses on top of glasses because I have a vision issue, but this helps. And there's just a lot. I'll try to walk through it as quickly as possible. Uh, but this is kind of the main feature that I love. This clock here comes with the game. Put an image of this in the game, and as you make your plays, it's usually 5 seconds for a play and then 30 seconds in between. And there are special rules for last 5 minutes of the second half, last 2 minutes of the first half. So that's all out there. If you know the rules, I put the overshooting the end zone rule out here. There's links to the Titans. Since I'm doing 99, there's links to the Titans season in 1999. Again, if you take this product, you can make that your own link to your own team. There are team cards. Clay said he didn't mind if I showed off a couple of these. And this is the 99 Titans and the 99 Rams. Not sure why more companies don't put out the 99 season. Of course, being a Titans fan, it's one of my favorites. First season in Tennessee called the Titans for the Titans. They had been called the Oilers up until 99, and they went to the Super Bowl. And legendary Titans, Eddie Steve McNair, Frank Wycheck, two of the three have passed away now. So just a legendary team. And the Greatest Show on Turf, the first season of the Greatest Show on Turf. So great. Here's the team cards. I got a New Orleans one over here that I had been using that I'm keeping off to the side. But there's the play card. Here is a link to the kickoffs and field goals, punts, breakaways, all of that stuff if you need it. And then this is going to take you, the breakaway is going to take you to the exact same chart. I just put it up here. I was struggling to remember that all of those were on the same chart. So I just put different pieces of the same chart. For some reason, that helps me. And here's a link. I believe all of those are the same chart. Here is, if you want to use the actual play cards, here is, I do this from time to time. I will roll dice and I will move the little football here, say it's an outside run, and I rolled, and it's going to be against, a balanced. You can move this little football icon to the card that the defense has rolled. You can move this, the football player to the card that the defense has rolled. And here's your play selector over here. So you can roll your dice, and here's your modifiers. You can roll your dice, put the football on the offensive card, put the little guy on the correct defensive card, and then when you're ready, once you have your play, you can go back to the mat and put in your results. I already talked about the clock and the timer. Here's the rules to the link to the advanced rules. Another link to the Titans. Here is the digital score sheet link, and here is a link to a printable score sheet link. So I've got it set up for my next 1999 replay, but I use this. I wanted something I could print off that I needed one. The digital one I couldn't print off because I don't remember why. I think it has the built-in zeros or something like that. So that was messing it up when I was trying to print it off. So I wanted something I could print off. As you play, here's your football that you can move, and here's your down marker that you can move. So if you're heading, to this end zone here, and if it's 1st and 10 from the 40, and then you get a gain of 5, you can move the football 5 and then slide your down marker over there, and then adjust your play clock. I think that covers everything on the field. Already talked about the one roll. What did you call it? The automatic play calling card. Down at the bottom, all the normal links, and when you're trying to the game clock rules and the hurry up. I put this here for the hurry up offense. Sometimes I'll use it, sometimes I won't. But it's one of the reasons I like season ticket football is it doesn't really need it, and that is great for me because I don't like home brewing. I just feel like it messes things up. But if a game needs a ton of home brews, if it's a really good game, then I'll do it. which is Apple football. I have to do a lot to get that game to work for me, but it's a really really good game. I love the quality of the components. Like I said, I got vision difficulties, and the book is really big, and you can just read the results really well off the cards. And unless you have the 99 set, which I do, um, and that was the premier set. So, but the book and everything generally for Apple is really good. So to me, it's worth it. But season ticket football, I don't have to do really any of that stuff. Everything that's provided with the game, it's nice, easy to read, laid out well, no home brews, no mods, stuff like that. So it really, really, it works for me. The last one I'll show, I want to also, well, we'll talk about the other ones I want to do. The last one I will show is Apple Football, which is what I've been playing most recently. And again, I like going on a lot of the similar things linked to the Titans. This is a play calling system. I struggle. Like I said, I like season ticket football and matchup because it calls the plays for you. Strat and APBA, you have to call your own plays. And for a guy like me that is neurotic and wants to make sure that he's calling plays correctly, that's a bit of a struggle. And I don't know every team. And people on the Facebook groups and say, just use it realistically. Well, I don't know what realistic usage is. And what I think might be realistic usage might not be realistic usage. So I just I really struggle. I don't want to be that guy calling, you know, the St. Louis Rams calling every pass, never calling a long pass for them when probably in real life they probably threw more long passes than anybody. So don't want to get the game results skewed that way. So I've been working hard with AI to develop some charts and a D20 play calling system, and I think I actually got that linked in here. I know I do. This whole system is linked right here. I think it's pretty simple, but then when I got reading it, I was like, man, somebody's gonna look at this and think it's really, really complicated. So it's working for me. This is what I meant about Apple football. It's a great game. And if you're okay with calling your own plays and not worried about using the team incorrectly or feel pretty confident that you know how to use a team, then you probably don't need all of this. But for me, I need, how to create a whole play calling system, which I've enjoyed, but I'd like it has its place in my gaming, and it's not an often place, if that makes sense. But that is there if you want to explore it. I've actually posted, and this is outdated too now. I've posted it in the Card and Dice group, which you can access here. I've posted the original D20 play calling system I developed there, but this is a little different, and it's all based on 1999. I don't. I think the original one was a little more accurate. 1 to 7 inside run. AI is telling me that for 1999, that's right. I don't think it is, and I know it's not right based on Greg Barrett overall the way he says you should use these plays. So I don't love this, but I'm going with it for now. But anyway, um, it has a lot of the same things that the others has. It one of the things that I really needed for APA where I had to put the arrows on the football that color coordinate the direction that the team is going because you use different charts depending on where you are on the field. So if it's first and goal, let's say that the Titans are heading over here and it's first and goal from their opponent's 40-yard line, this blue arrow matches this blue arrow. So then it tells me which chart in the book I'm going to use the offense's 15-yard line to the defense's 31-yard line. Once I cross into this arrow, then that tells me to go flip to a different chart. And then once I get inside the 9 or the 9 or earlier, I guess inside the 10, I'm going to flip to this chart. When the team is going the other direction, so let's say that their opponent has the ball, and they're traveling and they're at their own 40. So now this blue arrow color codes with this blue arrow. And I didn't put the words in the arrow. I should, but I just haven't got to doing that yet. So that will tell me to use the main chart. Tebow calls this the fat part of the field where you're going to run the majority of your plays. And, if they start it deep in their own territory, say from the 8-yard line, um, I'm going to be using this chart, which is the goal line to the 14 yards. So that's working for me. That helps me. I don't use the defense indicator too much because I use the defensive play calling cards for APBA. So and then I put the Titans running allocators and receiving allocators here, and then I've got a different GUI program that I've shared in Cards and Dice that I use to create the opponents receiving allocators, and that's based off of the receiving allocator number off the APBA football card. So you have to have the card to put that in. And the rushing allocator I use from Pro Football Reference. I just go and look up how many carries, and in the GUI that I've shared in Card and Dice, you put in the name of the guy and how many carries he had, and then it will create this chart for you. And I guess that's pretty much it. There's a lot of things on APBA that are a little bit different than the rest of the other two charts because I've been playing it most recently, and I'll play a series, and I'm like, man, I could do this to my digital playmat. So I go and do that thing. So it's taken me forever, but Jeff from APBA Football Club provided this. This has been a godsend for me for APBA. Really, really struggle with APBA's abbreviations. I just really struggle with it. And I know most guys don't. I do. This has been helpful for me. And probably, I hear guys say that about other games. Like people really struggle with, APBA Master Game because of the math and all of that stuff. And I did at first, but then after several games, it's like really second nature. So I'm sure a lot of this will be second nature once I get through with a lot more APBA football. So that's when I could probably start taking some of this stuff away and make it fit better for standard screens. This is here as well. This is the SAC allocator, so I plan on doing this. I believe I got this from Oakguard's site. This, the 99 APBA football set doesn't have all of the players carded, and there is an insert that came with the game that I have, but then I lost the 99 Titans numbers cards, or it didn't come with my game. I'm beginning to think it didn't come. I had to buy it from eBay, and it's missing several defensive players. So I someone on Facebook made this for me. So this is what I have been using for 99. I would prefer to use the QS numbers, but I'm just having trouble locating the 1999 QS numbers for the Titans. And in my replay, I'm only tracking um, Curse's sacks and McNair's passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, and Eddie George's rushing touchdowns. So that is there. Here's the digital score sheet. Here's the print score sheet. And then this is a really good tool as well from Jeff from APBA Football Club. This is been great for me. It's just kind of a little cliff notes on different procedures and abbreviations and codes to know is what he calls it. And then I've put out here kind of here's a link to the D20 play calling system, just how I play it. This is a reminder for me. I've printed this and I put it in the APBA football game because I had APBA football rolling really well for me at one point, and then I didn't play it for a couple years, and I got back in it, and it just really struggled again. So this time, in case that happens, I made this cheat sheet. I printed this off. I put it in the instructions, and it's a little dated. I've added more to it since then, but these were just things that I struggled with getting back into football. So I just wrote down, how I currently play. I even took a little picture of the setup that I am using, which is it's just right here. I have an idea of making a play mat for this and sending it off to one of the companies that make the digital play mats. And I know this is heresy to a lot of people, but I wrote it's heresy to me. I don't normally do it, but desperate times call for desperate situations. APBA football is so good, and I just one less chart to look at is if I spread the cards out in front of me and I put in the lower right hand corner what the number is for that play call. And then I have my modifier over here based on the team. So a team like the Titans, I'm going to use -4 because they were a run-based team. A team like the Greatest Show on Turf, the St. Louis Rams, I'm going to do a +4. And then you can do different situations as well. These numbers are based on 99. And I even wrote it out here, what to do. So that is all of that, and I think that's basically it. Um, Want to encourage you, if you'll go to Code and Dice, a lot of good stuff being shared out there. I know a lot of people think I'm not a coder, I'm not a programmer. That stuff, it's for other guys. And really, it's not just about programming. I am definitely not a programmer or coder. I work with SQL in my everyday job quite a bit, but that doesn't. I mean, that does come in handy a little bit when you're coding some of this stuff out if you're attaching a database to it. But I've done a little bit of in Python, but it's not all about computer programming. It can be non-digital helpers, Excel helpers, and I don't know Excel very well, especially VBA. I take pictures and put it out here of just different things. So it's not just about the digital stuff and about computer programming. So sharing my screen here. I'm going on 24 minutes, 26 minutes. So don't know how many people are going to watch this, but that is what I have going on. Wanted to share that, Matt, with the community. I enjoy it, and that's a walkthrough of using the mat. I'll put this video out on the Code and Dice group when I post the updated version of my play mat. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.